Listen up my waves.
This is Sketch Zone, the podcast. I'm your host, Carlos Gomez, and I'm bringing with me this silly bitch, Charlie B. Williams. B is for Biatch.
Really? Really? That's the introduction I get this week? This is how we're going to start.
Yes, sir. I like
Okay,
it.
look,
All right.
everybody just jump
Three of
in.
them.
Just everybody just jumps in on Charlie. Hey everyone, how you doing? Excuse the old man over there. Gosh, people's kids.
Speaking of old men, bringing with me Jack Casper Zach.
I like peanut butter.
He still loves peanut butter. There's history to
His
that.
response was
There's
awesome.
history to that. And in the red corner, Kimbo Slice.
Hey.
Let me try that again.
That was a
because I know
total
you were
fail.
waiting.
Total fail.
The master of disaster.
That's a little better.
The champion of your hearts.
What did we just do? Time travel? You sound like you're talking in a Charlie Chaplin movie all of a sudden.
Yeah, see? We got that big black fella over there. See?
See, I'm gonna break the law. See, they'll never catch us.
Tyrus Gaucher, give me some news. What's going on in your life?
Man, I'm working like crazy, pulling 20-hour days right now.
Hang on, where's the little violin sound effect? Oh no, we don't have one of those. Damn.
Taking naps in between. Making money, but it's good. I love it. I would have it no other way. No other way.
All right, so for our listeners that like to come and watch this hot mess live, we do have this new question and answer panel. So if you have any questions, like, is Charlie's mama really that black? We can answer that for you. So to start off the podcast, I actually wanted to say happy birthday to not someone, but something. Something very special to me, and yes, all of you, and all of you at home. Something very special is celebrating their 25th birthday. Can you guys guess? 25 years ago.
Is Julie your birthday? Really?
25.
So
No,
flattered.
she's 23.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
We haven't introduced Julie yet. So
Right.
well, now that
I'm
Charlie.
about to-
No, I know. We're gonna go into the nitty gritty first, and then bring it back because we need some civilization here. But now that we can go for
Did
it,
you say
Julie.
Civilization.
He said civilization. this is what happens when...
That's the word.
No, it's
We
not.
need some civility. Whatever.
There it is.
Don't judge me.
No
ESL.
one's judging. This is a judge-free zone.
Everyone,
Simple.
help me in joining or welcoming. So you got my English all backed up.
Don't be nervous now. It's okay.
Everyone, Julie Farrell is in the house.
All right.
She is the queen of your hearts,
Where's the sound effect?
master designer, graphic designer extraordinaire. She's done her rounds in the video game industry, and now she's actually a very successful graphic designer, designing for her own company because she said, "F y'all, I got this." Boom. Julie, welcome.
Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
Julie.
That's pretty much what I said. Exactly. F y'all. Now, peace. Start my own company.
She just drops the mic.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So we were right before we started the show. We were talking about how the majority of us met. I don't know if you know Jack. Jack went to
Jack is
AI
young.
Schaumburg
Hi,
as
Jack.
well, but
Don't know you.
Jack is
Young.
Jack. That's Julie. Julie, that's Jack.
Now we know.
Jackie Body.
There it is. There's my sound effects. There it is.
Are you guys actually blocked from the sound effects?
Yeah, you jerk.
I didn't. I don't know how to block and unblock.
Yeah,
dude.
You want to ultimate control, Charlie?
Yeah, he's control freak, you know,
Yeah, because Charlie
Just
tells
every week.
jokes and he hates it when we do this.
day in and day out.
Mm.
My jokes are amazing, Julie. Don't listen to the old men. They're just jealous. See, don't laugh. Don't help him out. Don't help him out.
I'm sorry. It reminds me of like the episode of Big Bang where they had the recorder, and every time Sheldon said something, they did the cricket. So.
Thank you.
So Julie and I go way back. We went to art school together, and we actually were in housing together. Well, not together.
Yeah.
But
we didn't have a house, where we lived together, but we were in the same apartment complex.
Yeah, your husband's way too big for him to be looking over me, tapping his fingers or tapping his toes. Like, you what?
He's really big, yeah. He's a big guy. Big tattooed, shaved head guy, yeah.
So then, I don't know if it was right after graduation or during school or whatever, but Julie and I kind of got our big gaming break at the same company. We'll just call it that.
I think you were there first, right?
Yeah, I interviewed. I was with that game company when we were working out of the owner's living room.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got there at the warehouse or whatever that was.
Yeah, I helped set up the warehouse. It was long and tedious, and ended up being worth absolutely nothing. But
oh no, it was fun memories. I mean.
Oh yeah. The memories were fun, especially kind of in the beginning when we would convince the owner to order pizza so we can play Quake throughout lunch, and that always spilled off into like 2 to 3 hours later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are good times. So yeah, I was the first one there, and then I got them to hire Chubb, who we'll have on the show in the next little bit. And then I think you were the third hire that they did.
Yeah, I was the only girl.
Yeah. You poor thing. It must have smelled like sweat.
That other
guy. Yeah, and then you went on to bigger, better things. What did you do after that one company?
I had the pastor. I think then I went to NewFX, which got bought out by EA, and I worked there for about 13 years.
Sick.
Yeah.
And that's where Julie met me.
And that's where I met my husband.
Yep.
So I met a lot of people.
That's what happens. They work you until you have to marry your coworkers.
Because you don't meet anybody else because you're just at work all the time.
That's right.
They did pay you though. Well.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a good thing.
Does pay well.
That's a good thing. They work you, but they do pay you.
Yes.
Whereas
that's true. I paid off pretty much everything.
Right?
Every single thing I owned.
That is one misconception about EA. They pay. It's not till I left that I realized, oh, wait a minute. I don't get paid overtime?
That was pretty good.
And the health insurance is amazing.
Overtime was amazing.
They don't ever want you to get sick.
They don't. They pay for like 1,000% of everything.
Everything. Damn.
Yeah,
I
would say out of all the companies, EA was the most ballin' one to work for.
The best, right? The chairs are the most expensive.
What did you do there?
I had all this stuff. I was just like riding around my Zooter in the office, and like doing ollies and stuff. I'm like, it was just crazy. It was like balls to the wall, but it was work hard, play hard.
Yeah. What was your official title, Julie?
Oh wow. I mean, you realize I'm old, right? I gotta remember this. So I was the lead of Team 2 there. So was working on all the Marvel stuff. And then the Def Jam. After we did the boxing game, then we got split into 2 teams. Remember that? And then I was in charge of the Marvel game that never came out, but they did that whole Kotaku thing on. And then we did the Def Jam titles. So.
Did you start there as a UI?
I started there as UI and texture artist when we were doing Street 2. And then so that got out. Then I started. Well, no one ever wants to do UI, so I'm a graphic designer, so I was like, well, I'll do it. Shit. So and I just love UI because for me it's like one big advertising campaign. But then I did the HUD and and stuff like that. So it's cool. I enjoyed it for 16 years. So
Nice.
There you go.
yeah.
And now you're running your own company.
I am. So after EA Chicago closed down, I ended up working for Day One Studios. We did the LucasArts title, and then we did the Fear titles and stuff. So, and Fear 2 would have been really, really cool if they would have let me done what I wanted to do for the UI, but it got changed like 16 times.
What did you want to do originally?
And I wanted to do this whole scrolling interface that was interactive, like inside a world, and your characters, like real-time stuff. But it started out, it's just, you just get micromanaged, and it doesn't end up turning out to be anything that you designed in the beginning. So, but yeah. So, and they pretty much went under and got sold out, or with some other, I think, German company now or something.
Yeah, they're Wargaming now.
Yeah, so they only left like 6 people in the office and laid off everybody right after I think I was home 2 weeks on maternity leave, and they laid off everybody.
Wow.
So we were like, I guess we're moving wherever we find a job.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was just done. It's like I love games. I'm always a gamer. I grew up with my brother as a kid, like sitting down all weekend playing games and watching wrestling on TV. That's what we did as kids. So it's like I love games. I just don't like the long hours, and I don't like all the BS that comes with it. So if I ever did it again, it would probably be with close friends and do our own thing, which you can do nowadays.
Yeah.
But once we moved, I worked for a studio in California for about a year, doing some UI stuff, and then like little bitty mobile stuff. But I was really trying to just do something on my own, and I always did the graphic design and like offbeat wedding stuff on the side. So I just started doing that full time, and it's paid off. It pays me more than EA did, and I've won 3 awards this year, 2 last year, and have 2 people working for me, and I get to stay home and not deal with all that. So
Nice.
Baller.
And what's your company called, Julie?
It's called Odd Lot Weddings.
Yes, you do weddings.
ODLOT weddings.com. I got a website and all that stuff, so you can go up there and see it. But just do a huge. Have you guys heard of that show that used to be on TV? Maybe not, because you're all guys. It's called Bridal Wars. It was like 3 women getting married just to get outdo each other.
That sounds terrible.
But,
that sounds. Let me interrupt you and just say I've never seen that show, but that sounds like something they make you watch in hell.
right?
On a 50,000-inch screen on repeat. A bunch of women preparing for weddings.
If you've ever watched Clockwork Orange, that's the show that they were making that dude
watching it.
His eyes were
over and over again.
That's right. So, it's totally centered around women, So, but now they canceled it, because probably everybody's seen it.
Oh, imagine that! They canceled a show based around women getting married.
Yeah. Well, there's however many other ones, so it's like. But I did. Now it's local, and they just have teams of designers like facing off against each other. So I did it this year in Colorado with some other wedding planners, and we did like a rockabilly theme with like these old vintage cars. This guy owns like 120 vintage cars in a warehouse in Colorado. So he held it there. We got to pick out a car and base our stuff around it, and battle these other designers, and we won. So.
So wait, were you on the show? Were you on the show? Or
it's not a show anymore. It's it's a bridal show, so it's local. So you go, like people will go and like view everything, and you get judged and stuff like that. So
that's dope. Okay.
Yeah, but we'll be in magazines, and they're taking it like I guess worldwide now. So we'll see. I'll probably do it again. So.
And what part of the wedding do you design? Do you design the whole wedding, the whole thing?
The invites.
Yeah, all the invites.
Anything stationary. Yeah, I don't want to plan everything. I can only handle so much of controlling people.
There it is. Yeah.
So I mean, I love my brides. Once in a while, you'll get one, and I'm like, "How did you get my personal number at 6 a.m.? I'm still sleeping." you know. And you know me, and waking me up early is not really something that goes over really well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch Julie when she gets pissed.
Yeah. Let it out a little bit.
And I say that because I'm not married to her. It's probably not so happy for Joel when you get.
Oh, he doesn't wake me up. He sleeps longer than I do. He doesn't even have to be into work until like 11:30. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Teacher life, yeah.
I do think one time though, when we were working on Pass Tree, and I forget the guy's name, but didn't I come in early so I could leave early? But I was super tired, and then someone would come try to talk to me every morning for like an hour, and I finally put up a sign that's like, I haven't even had coffee or woken up. Don't come in here before 9:30 and start talking to me about stuff. And then he got all mad at me, but I was just like, hey, I'm probably
It is what it is.
The bluntest person you'll ever meet, so known.
So, going back to the original birthday, we were going to guess. So let's go around the horn. Charlie, you're actually ladies first. I'll get out of here. Julie.
What?
She said what?
There was a
there's
a birthday today for something. And let me say this. Here's the clue. Not everything that is created or person that is made or created or whatever.
What are you talking about?
Whose name, I'm trying to give you a clue, easy. Whose name actually becomes a verb.
Oh my gosh.
Carlos.
You just
no one knows what you're talking about.
This is your
That's because you guys are dumb.
I have no clue what we're talking about.
There's a birthday. It's a birthday for something whose name is a verb. Has become a verb. Jack, do you know?
Jack was raising his hand like the dude in school back in the day that everybody hated.
Anyone?
Snoopy.
I'm not guessing.
Was it Garfield?
Is it Snoopy's birthday?
I know, but I'm not gonna say it
I know the answers.
because y'all hate me. So.
Good job.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Jack, if it makes you feel any better, the dummies always hate the smart kids.
I'm checking.
What is it? What do you think? What do you think it is, Jack?
I'm not gonna say. I'll just say WinZip. But it's something kind of like that. We have mentioned in
You
the
like
previous
peanut butter,
show.
right, Jack?
Yeah.
You like,
Is it your mama's
What?
birthday?
I said you like peanut butter, right, Jack?
That's not a verb.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point exactly. Pay attention in class, Charlie.
Yeah, that's what it is. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what it is, since no one knows it except Jack.
25 years ago today, Photoshop was released.
Are you serious?
Is Photoshop 25 years old?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Dang!
Photoshop 1 came out 25 years ago today.
That's crazy.
How
Now, does that make you feel old? That we
How
all
older than Photoshop?
I remember, yeah, you're older than Photoshop.
Yeah, well, exactly. There it is.
Yeah, so 25 years ago. I remember it was in the late 90s. I was in my design class, and Photoshop didn't even have drop shadows.
You mean late 80s?
We had to create our own drop shadow, or late 90s, sorry.
And now you wish
Late
it didn't
90s.
have drop shadows.
And now I wish we didn't.
Early
have drop
70s.
shadows. But for real, when drop shadows came out, well, obviously it was earth-changing because people still want drop shadows on all their stuff. When was it that you guys first started playing with Photoshop?
I think it was in ILIA. I remember the ad I was working on because I was all pissed off that the layers wouldn't work right. It was like this skateboarding ad. And I just remember it was like the first time I ever used Photoshop, and I was just pissed off. But I figured it out. I mean, after after that, obviously. But yeah, that was the first time. I just remember having troubles with the layers and the wand thing.
Mine was probably, what was that, 2000? But I think I learned freehand in Macromedia before Photoshop. But yeah, Photoshop was at least 2000 or so, which is.
Here's my thing, like recently with all the updates, like I just updated because I have a cloud, and I'm like, can you guys like at some point, at least in like the next revision, not move everything where I'm trying to relearn everything every time? Like I think that's their way just to mess with us, just to like get their kicks and giggles for the updates. Like,
what you don't notice is every time you update, your web camera turns on, so they're able to watch you.
It's always a little spy thing built in.
As you piss vinegar.
Then all the templates and stuff, and all the different versions of outlooks you can do.
Yeah, that was back in when Photoshop actually Photoshop is almost like MTV, where it's called Photoshop, but you barely do anything with photos anymore. People illustrate, people make comics, they're doing like 3D, they're doing all this stuff.
You can do video in it now too, yeah.
Yeah, you can do video. I have a friend who he reached out and he's like, hey, I don't know if it's my computer's getting old or what, but every time I try to open up a Photoshop file, I was like, well, hell, you can do like, you can edit sound in Photoshop. You can like, see, you can make toast if you go with a toast filter in Photoshop. So no wonder it takes a little bit for a Photoshop file to open up.
No, I tell you what though, that library in the cloud is amazing. I don't know if you guys are using that yet.
No. What is it? What is it?
All right, so if you're doing anything like for you, Julie, you'll definitely need it. Carlos, you too. If you're doing anything where you like create smart objects or symbols and you use the logos, anything over and over again, well, in the library, you can save that symbol, and then so you never have to go into another file and get it. You open up your library, you grab it, you drop it, and you put it right on your artwork. So if you're doing batch anything, if you're doing for especially if you're a graphic designer, you just grab the symbols you already have, and you just drag them out of your library, drop them in as a PNG. Whatever you save it as is what you drag and drop it as, and it just saves you a ton of time of going through the files or opening up, a logo.
Tyrus, what's the terms of use on that though? Is it on the cloud? Is it only you have access to it, or are you?
Yes, it's only you have your own personal cloud because we're using all of us are using CC Creative Cloud, right? So it's on your cloud.
Okay.
If you have a CC, it's just on your cloud. But I can share my library with Julie by sending it to her and then giving her a sign-in, and she'll have access. So, like, you say you have 2 other employees, right? You can let them sign in and grab projects down or symbols down or smart objects down, and the Creative Cloud blends with Illustrator. So if you go into Illustrator and you create high vector, right? You're doing pure vector work, and you make a symbol or logo, you can save it to your cloud, then go into Photoshop and then bring it in as a PNG or as a smart object right into your work. And so it'll always be there anytime you go into the cloud. You can make different folders in the cloud. So I have a folder that's just faces. I have a folder that are just different color eyes, logos. So if I'm working on a book, I make a folder for that particular book. And the things that I need for that book, I fill that folder with. So now I just grab, drop, grab, drop, grab, drop, and just keep moving. You got to check it out. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best things that Photoshop added in the last 5 years.
That's pretty cool. I could definitely use that because I have certain vector things that I've used, on different things, or if I'm creating like a suite of different things, like an invite and then like different suites, with it, RSVP and all that. And I always have to go search my files, and find the one. So it'd be cool to have the photos or the folders. That would be great.
Yeah. You got to check it out. And
it's available on your iOS devices too.
Yeah.
Really?
My kids broke all those. 2 iPads in 4 months. They're done.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and one thing I like about that Tyrus mentioned too is the ability to bring in vectors into your Photoshop file. And then what I find I use a lot is I'll be like, oh crap, that's not fitting in the conform space I need. I'll just click on the Photoshop layer, it'll bring me right back in Illustrator, adjust it, save, go back into Photoshop, and it just updates.
Smart objects are nice, yeah.
Yeah. I use that probably every day.
Here's another secret for the people who are listening. Instead of, so normally I would just save everything as PSDs, but because now what I do, like if I'm building a book, I turn each page into a smart object. So I may have 20 layers, right? What you can do then is double click and go into the smart object and have that entire build in one layer. And you can go in and grab those symbols or pictures or pieces and drop them in your library. You know, close that file out, go back, and then you can just drop again. So that's another shortcut that really works. I think I'm gonna do a tutorial on the library in Photoshop because it's like one of the most overlooked things, but everybody needs this tool.
Yeah, you know, that would be really good, you know, as a user interface artist, if people are wanting to get into that or are that, I could see that working really good for that because everything you do, right, is in layers, and you kind of have to design the main menu and the coordinating menu to match up the same theme, but they're going to have different variations, you know, depending on where you're going, you know, what path you're taking. I could see that being really useful if you have a design and then creating different folders, but with the same elements and being able to use it. I mean, that would cut down on your time and just everything with that.
Yeah, it's a great tool, and
especially if you're going to bring it into, you know, the Flash program to make it interactive or whatever they use now. You know, back when I was at EA, it was, you know, their own Flash action script stuff. So I don't know what they use, you know, the last 4 years, but you know, everything in Flash is like you bring it in and do all that. So could save some time.
Jack, did you look like you wanted to say something?
No, I was just shaking.
You've been
Say something.
You've been on that microphone like I'm just waiting for his time. He's just
Patiently waiting.
no, just kidding.
I will have it. Just wait.
Hey, so check this out. A little bit of Photoshop history.
Story time.
It was actually a hobby by a guy by the name of Thomas Knoll, whose brother worked at ILM, and his brother started showing it off at ILM, and they're like, "Oh snap, this is tight."
That's how it happened.
And then apparently it got pretty popular, and then Adobe swung through and bought it up, and the rest is history. It's easy to say Photoshop is what keeps the lights on at Adobe.
oh, no doubt about it.
You could say that now, but they own everything.
Yeah, but
I don't know that stupid Acrobat reader. Everybody's needing a PDF, and they got that on
true
lockdown.
story.
They literally own everything. Everything's keeping the lights on at this point. You know, they're like, what did they not?
But I'd say this: without Photoshop, they would have never made it to the point that they are now. They wouldn't have been able to purchase up all of these other properties. Like Photoshop has been their lifeblood.
Yeah.
Yeah, licensing the PDF stuff, yeah, that's all fine and good. That's probably, you know, maybe they can turn on a couple extra lights or, you know, get an automatic garage door opener. But Photoshop pays the rent, dude.
Yeah.
Photoshop is it. And then I'm actually impressed with kind of what you guys were talking about earlier, how the integration between all of the packages. I remember when they said, yeah, you can now import Photoshop files into Flash. Game changer.
Yeah.
That was bananas. I was like, thank you, Jesus. You are real and have answered my my prayers.
You say, "Here you
No,
are for Adobe."
don't lie, dude. It was brutal trying to build stuff. And then what's funny is I started doing work for Hollywood, and then nothing was ever brought into, well, all of my developments was never brought into Flash anymore. Everything when you're developing in Flash or doing something in Flash, anything that can change will change. So you basically all I ever used when I was in Hollywood was Flash Builder and Photoshop. And I would use Photoshop to tear down the images and put them in separate folders, and everything that was ever built that I ever built was built off of loading external assets.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so much easier to do it that way than if you go into Flash and then you have to update your symbols and all that stuff. That got so repetitive and such a pain. So yeah. Anyway, we're stepping away from Photoshop. Photoshop rocks.
No, so I was thinking the first time I used Photoshop, I was at my first college, and my dorm director goes, "Hey man, got this program on my computer that I think you'd be interested in." So here I am, I'm doing everything by hand, and so the art program is super weak, right? I'm there to wrestle and play football, but I still want to be an artist. So I go in and I sit down, and I think I sit there for 3 hours. And one of the tools that caught me was the Magic Lasso tool. I didn't know what it did, but I knew it was magic, and it was a lasso.
Magical.
And they made marching ants.
That's right. And so I was like, okay, this must magically animate something. So I got to figure out how to use it, right? So I figured out how to scan and get my picture in, and I'd select it and be like, okay. And then I'd do it, I hit enter, and it would go like, what the heck? So I kept trying. Yeah. Then when I actually took the time to learn how to use it, I was like, well, that was dumb, right?
Yeah. Meanwhile, behind him, they're like, look at the football player try to learn Photoshop.
The guy would know that can't get the marching ants to work right.
No, I was the first person on campus to learn it. Like nobody else even knew it. So why are you hating, Charlie?
Oh, sorry.
So as far as creating, and because I think everyone here uses Photoshop for some aspect, like we have texture artists, we have Tyrus who illustrates books, Jack does special effects. Jack, do you use Photoshop on a daily basis?
No, just for my personal stuff, yeah, but not at work, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
And Julie, obviously, doing your graphic design, you knock it out. Do you think there's anything that can even compete with Photoshop at this point?
I mean, the only thing I could think of is if you had the ability just to somehow do 3D depth in Photoshop. Does that make sense? Kind of like you would sketch right on a 3D model. So I know they have 3D stuff in there, but if you were able to start adding fine detail to stuff, with your pen or something, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. So you would have your 3D model in there, and you're literally painting on the model. That's what you mean?
Yeah. Or say I wanted to make something I was doing invite-wise 3D, and I needed some fine details in there, and it would actually start showing the depth. You could say 5% depth, and instead of using a bevel tool, you can have a little more control over it, with that type of stuff. But otherwise, I don't know. It's come so far. It's hard to keep up with what all can go in there, and you can buy actions and lighting presets and all sorts of stuff for it, and
brushes,
everything.
Endless amount of brushes.
I have an insane amount of brushes.
I know in the online comic book industry, and maybe even the real comic book industry, I know for doing inking and drawing and all that stuff, there's that Manga Studio. Have any of you guys played with that at all?
Yeah, I checked out Manga Studio. It's pretty decent, but I'm not. It's always like a bootleg of Photoshop for something else when you could do every single thing in Photoshop. So
I just saw some type of thing come by. I have subscriptions all these places that'll buy this one for $12. But I just saw something come through this week about make your own comic book strip pages from like photos that you would upload in Photoshop, and it'll go ahead and change them up for you and give you the little boxes to like put in there with different folders and like make your own strip thing. So and I think it's just getting easier and easier for regular people to do stuff that big end studios would do, and people would just be like, oh, I could never do that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, for example, I'm part of this group that's actually working on a documentary for like the history of hip hop in Chicago, or the history of Chicago hip hop, and it's just a crew of like 6 of us, and the quality that's getting produced, I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And thank you, Adobe. You know, Adobe's been paying my bills for a long damn time. Or helping me pay bills. They didn't do anything for me except give me the tools. There was this other piece of software that I invite people to go out and check out. It's an open source concept art software. Any of the listeners, if you guys go out there and learn about this stuff and use it and you have an opinion, reach out to us and we might have you on the show to talk about it, to see what it is. But I think it's Krita, Krita, and if you go to krita.org, they have a free download. I saw some of the videos that they have. It looks pretty cool. I don't know how it compares to Photoshop.
Is that the one with Infinite Zoom?
No,
a different one?
Infinite Zoom is Mischief.
That's Mischief. Oh.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
Power
Mischief took up 15 gigs. I was like, what happened to my memory on my C drive?
Really?
And I'm not kidding you. I don't know. I'm going to try to reinstall it. It took Photoshop, the entire suite is 5 gigs. Mischief took up 15 gigs.
Hey, Infinite
Right.
Canvas. Infinite Canvas ain't free.
Infinite, like, take your hard drive space.
Yeah.
It's a cool program though, but that's unfortunate.
And I don't want to give them back. I have to go and reinstall it and say, okay, is that officially what it needs? But yeah, it was 15
Like,
gigs.
was there some extra programs or something in the install that you maybe checked or something?
No. I know that's not the
Remember
case.
when Photoshop first came out, you couldn't have Photoshop and some other program running because your computer would crash, you know, and you're just like, okay, just let me save it. Just let me save this one time before you crash.
And then crunch. There goes your jazz disc. And
Yeah,
then,
I was about to say, where's the zip disk?
Don't you dare open a program when Photoshop is open. So, I mean, going back to how everything compares to Photoshop, it's like they just got it all figured out. I don't know. It's going to take some type of genius to have everything.
Crunch it all down, yeah.
Yeah.
my favorite jazz disc story was I had my sound effects class with Carter, and I had the thing was pretty much done, and well, no, I think it was done, and I was just dragging it to my jazz disc to make a copy of it. The whole thing crashed. And so I had to start all over again, and I had to go find all my sound effects again and all this stuff, and we needed to hand in the project at the end of the day. So I got all the videos that the teacher gave us. I lined them all back up, and all my sound effects were me going bang, bang, kaboom, bang. He said that it was the only reason I got a good grade was because he was crying with laughter because he couldn't believe that that's what I handed in. He saw me working on it. He saw me like with the actual like, but yeah, like the theme song was me singing Gigantor, really big, really big.
Hey, here's a story. Story time. So I was, we were all in school, and I'm like, man, I really want Photoshop for my home computer, right?
Oh yeah.
This is pirating. So I go and I take my jazz drive. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get Photoshop. Here I am
Where are you going with-
loading the icons to the Jazz Drive. Like, yeah. And I went home and I put it in and it's like, yeah, that's not working. So I spent
Some football player.
I spent probably 3 months figuring out how to get Photoshop. Maybe like 2 months. How to get Photoshop from one computer to another without having a proper license.
There's these things called icons. Damn you!
Everybody had crack licenses. It was like the thing.
Yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
little trick with that, with the school back in the day was, if you grab the main folder from on a Mac
Yeah.
and you copy the whole folder from the hard drive over to your thing, you had Photoshop at home.
Yeah.
So I literally had every program that the school had because
And that is why you're going to jail.
exactly they can't do anything now. It's on an iMac. I don't even know where that lime green iMac I had that my parents bought me
It's
because
an evidence. It's an
it's
evidence.
gone. You
They're
just
building
copy it
a
over. It was
story
like one
against you.
flaw. I think Apple had to be like, you know what, we need to fix this really quick.
Well, do you guys use PCs now, or do you use Macs?
I use PC.
I use a PC.
My main computer is a Mac, but then I have this thing. I've been wanting to do a little tutorial or whatever on this. I have one of those Wacom Cintiq
yeah.
companions.
Show off.
Gosh,
This
put it away.
thing-
No one cares.
This is
No one cares. No one
this
cares.
is for real, dude. This is by far my favorite computer that I've ever owned.
Is it standalone or is it just like another screen?
Oh no, it's standalone. It's
Oh,
full
shut up.
Windows 8.
Who cares?
Let's see the password. All
Look at 'em right
right,
now.
we got the
All
password.
right, get the password.
I was watching Donald Duck.
If
And that's
this
what
is
you use it for.
Great.
It's
Yeah.
another iPad for my kids to break.
No. It's because of this that I don't have, like, my iPad is like an iPad 2. And it's because of this.
I can't.
And I could,
stand
you know, and then I'm going to work on an app now that I do this. I'm going to work on an app that's like 2 speakers.
Boombox. Yeah.
Oh
Take
my
it
god.
streets. But yeah, this is phenomenal. It's touch sensitive, and it has its own stylus and stuff.
The Wacom commercial right now.
Dude,
Are we getting paid for this?
two people, no, but we're gonna try to.
We should totally
That's
do
because
this.
it came off the back of a truck.
There's two people. There's two
White
people
van
whose
jack.
jock I will never be off of: Adobe and Wacom.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
and
if you
when
get
they're
everybody
working
Cintiqs-
together,
push it.
Huh?
If you get everybody Cintiqs, I want it. I will wear a t-shirt every week.
dude, this thing is magic.
Really? I don't know much about. You need to
Anyway.
do like a product review of that one. I don't know much about that one.
Yeah, I wanted to, cause I've had a couple instances where I just unplugged it and the plug fell on the street or on the floor.
On the street.
I'm homeless.
You're right, Jack.
I'm
White van.
homeless.
The white van. Yeah, that's what it was. He had to get out of there real quick. The plug. He left the plug behind.
But no, there's been a couple things. I'll do a review or whatever on it here soon. But yeah, I love it. But I've had to, being completely honest, I've had to send it back twice for things. And then again, like last month, they had announced that they're coming out with the Companion 2. It's pretty sick. Anyway, we'll be talking about that
Nice.
in a later episode. So now that we know that Photoshop came or had ILM had something to do with the success of Photoshop, do you guys want to talk about some of these awards that are being or movies that are being mentioned in these award shows?
Okay.
So, for example,
So passive aggressive.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
What if we said no? We just want to interview Julie Moore.
here we go.
What do you want to ask
In
me?
these award shows.
Look, and then Julie takes over. What do you want to ask me? Let's go.
Right?
Well,
That
Charlie,
makes
you
sense.
did my pre-interview, and you were dying. You're like, oh, you're gonna be crazy. I'm like, oh, come on.
So, yeah. It's not so bad.
So when are the Oscars? When do the Oscars happen?
Saturday,
This
I
weekend.
believe? Or is it
Is
Sunday?
it this weekend?
You guys even watch those? I don't even watch any of their crap.
There it is.
I don't watch them.
I can't even stand it. It's like, I don't know. I more enjoy like indie movies and stuff. But that I've watched recently, I haven't. I don't know. Don't do the Oscars. Don't care what they're wearing. Don't care who they do. You know.
Nice.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like watching a sporting event for a team that I don't really care about. Like, I can wait for ESPN. I can wait for the highlights. Just give me the highlights. And I'm kind of like that on the Oscars too. I have a lot of friends in Hollywood though that they have Oscar parties. They get dressed up and they're all about it. Kind of cute. But again, I can wait for ESPN.
Put a tuxedo on to go to somebody's bed. Go to somebody's
Bedroom.
bedroom.
What was
I don't want to.
Have an Oscar party.
Is that an invitation? What the hell?
You have to wear a white
What?
tuxedo, Carlos.
That's why.
Boy, what?
That's why Monica's always yelling at you because you always invite me to the bedroom.
Hey.
He's sitting there in the black. What's going on?
Hey, that's how he was born. Don't be racist.
Hey. I'm not the one who said he was the blackest person here earlier.
Oh.
Ooh. So anyway, let's talk
Very nice
about
guy.
best animated short. There's
Okay.
A Single Life, Me and My Multan. What is that?
Sound it out, buddy.
Maybe we should skip this category.
Yo, let's have Jack do it.
The Damn
Sounds
Keeper.
like-
That's why we have
Damn
Jack here.
Keeper and the Bigger Picture. Have you guys seen anything about
Nope.
anything on
No,
those?
I haven't seen any of those.
I haven't either.
The only one I
saw-
saw was the Disney Feast.
Yeah,
and
that's the one that I saw.
Molten, and that artwork
Sound
was
it out.
terrible.
What is it?
Oh, it's terrible?
I mean, it's a good little story, but
Yo,
visually quality, I don't know. I don't understand why some of this stuff.
Jack, you be going in from week to week. We just shit all over Disney. Man,
I
who was
know.
it last week?
No, we can go to best animated feature, and I'll go.
Oh, okay.
All right then, let's go to Best Animated Feature.
Moving on.
Go ahead. What's everybody's pick?
He's so aggressive.
Let's see. We got Big Hero 6,
Well, we know that's
Box.
Charlie's favorite.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Box Trolls.
That's mine.
Yeah, I have a tie between those two. Big Hero 6. I'm gonna go with Big Hero 6, but Box Trolls visually was pretty dope. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Because that's all like a hybrid of CG and stop motion, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw some of So there's a cartoon art museum in San Francisco,
Mhm.
and I went there and they had all of these paintings and roughs and brainstorming art and stuff for the Box Trolls. It was pretty tight. They had a lot of how we did this type of thing too,
Yeah.
and
I
it was
liked it.
really cool.
Sorry, I thought you were done. I liked that at the end they kind of showed too, like how they built some of the sets on there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it was really neat. I like their whole style and just the overall tone of the movie, you know, with the lighting and stuff. I kind of like those monochromatic, you know, very washed out type of animated, you know, cartoon things like that. So.
Yeah, I like Leica also. Like I like that studios with stuff they do a lot. Like there was a section I saw a making of or something. I don't know if it was YouTube or something else. They were doing little spurts throughout the year before that came out on how they did like water and how it was like reflecting on the back of like a sewer, and it was really like kind of like a piece of glass or something that they did. That they shot a light through, and that then reflected.
They had a piece of glass with another piece of glass rotating
Like,
under
it's
it.
like that rigid corrugated shower glass that has.
Yeah. And
That's
then that was like, you know, simulating the caustics on the wall of the sewer, like just stuff like that. But like that whole studio and what they do is pretty cool.
Other movies that are in this category are Train Your Dragon 2.
Okay.
Song of the Sea, which I don't know if I've ever heard of.
That was
Yeah.
done by Cartoon Saloon, the same guys who did Book of Kells. Did you see that one?
No,
No.
I'm a horrible
It's-
movie goer.
I haven't seen this one, but Book of Kells is pretty.
Is it pretty?
Yeah.
And then the last one was The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. Kaguya.
Haven't seen that one.
Let's go back a bit. Train Your Dragon 2. Okay, now I didn't care.
By
for
the way, I helped build Train Your Dragon website. The first
Did you?
Cool.
The first
Yeah, I'm looking at the images from the Tale of Princess Kaguya. Not really my style. I mean, it's interesting, but yeah.
one? Yeah. The Train Your Dragon 2 was better. It was a better movie. Like I think that was actually a really good movie. Way better than the first one, but I still don't think it holds anything to the Big Hero 6. But a lot of people thought that movie, I think with all the things that are going on with DreamWorks this year, that kind of, I think if they were doing a lot better this year, I think that movie would have did a lot better. But it is a really good movie, and I would recommend seeing it.
You're holding out for the Disney Dynasty. Make it 3 years in a row.
Yeah, I just like Big Hero 6, man. I think it was good.
All right, so let's talk about best visual effects. I think I've seen pretty much all of these
Yeah.
movies.
Me too.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Guardians of the Galaxy, Interstellar, and X-Men Days of Future Past.
I think it
I've
was.
seen all of these.
What do you think, Tyrus?
So I've seen every single one except for Interstellar, which is the one that I think I need to see the
Shame.
most.
Shame on you, Tyrus.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, but I love the X-Men. I thought that was good. Guardians of the Galaxy was really good. The animation in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes that was next level. Crazy. You forgot that it wasn't real. I love movies where you like watching and just forget. You're like, this is a real story, and you're rooting for a hero, and you go, wait a minute,
Happen,
these are CG monkeys. This is not real
Right.
movie. Like, I'm emotionally involved. I'm rooting for the dude. I can't remember his name, the white guy with the big nose that was on that Showtime series. I'm like rooting for him, and I'm like, you can't beat these apes. And they did some really good things in that movie, symbolically, that really pushed the art. Like, there's a scene, if you get the chance to watch it again, and you see that the lead ape, I think, is that Caesar? Is this
Caesar.
Yeah,
Caesar.
okay.
Caesar.
So you see somebody tell me what that guy's name is. I can't think of the
Andy
star's name.
Serkis.
What is it?
Andy Serkis.
Andy
No,
Serkis?
No, the main actor.
Oh,
What are you
Not-
talking
not
about,
Caesar.
I
Jack?
thought you meant
He's-
the
he's
actor
a
who does
motion
Caesar.
capture artist.
No. Yeah, I'm talking about the guy that's in. Anyway, so they do a scene at the very end, and the next time you watch it, check it out, where Caesar comes forward, and the man kind of blends back into the shadow, and it's showing like the rise of the Planet of the Apes and the fall of mankind. And they do a lot of little symbolic things like that in the movie. To me, that makes that movie so much more than what it should have been, in a good way, right? It's like the thinking behind it and the way that they use the special effects, the way that they use the cut scenes to tell the story. I think that movie was definitely underrated. It's a great movie, actually.
I think they made it a lot better once they got rid of, well, because remember, what was it the first time? James Franco, right? Was the original. So, like, this one felt a lot more serious.
He was good in that movie.
I
but not-
liked him in
it.
it.
was
Yeah,
different.
I liked him.
It was a different feeling in this one. It felt a lot more cinematic, this one, than the last one to me.
Yeah. But you know what it was missing? It was with the actor they went with. I felt like the problem with that was it was missing familiarity. Like, I didn't get comfortable with him. I think he did a good job. It's just there was something missing with his persona. Yeah, I mean, I thought he did a good job. It's just I never really got comfortable. So I was rooting for him, but I don't know. I got to figure that out because I watched it 3 or 4 times, and it's the same every time. I don't know if he was the best actor, but the movie was really good. He did.
Was it his look?
acting.
Was it his look, Tyrus? Like you wanted something else in that point visually? Because I'm sure you
Okay,
like his
let's
acting.
do this. Switch him out for Liam Neeson. It's a much better movie.
Caesar,
Wow.
I've got a particular set of skills. I'm gonna
False.
No,
Liam Neeson, I don't know what it is that people like about him.
you don't like Liam Neeson?
Yeah.
There it is.
Dude is
He's
awesome.
all right.
Get him.
He's all right.
Hey,
If I wanted a white father, he would be Liam Neeson.
he's gonna find you, and when he
Wow.
does,
Tyrus, listen to me.
he'll kill
You're
you.
going to be
Set
taken.
of skills.
Different.
I'd be like, don't
different
worry,
strokes.
Liam. I just
Different
want
strokes
to
means taken.
kill my damn self.
That dude is awesome. What are you guys talking about?
Can you imagine? I need you to go down to the store, Willis. I mean,
Yeah. I've never been in France before, ever, but I know what bed you're under.
Dude, you're a hater.
Run
You're
down
a
I
hater.
need you to run down the hallway. There's a
Don't
bath.
do that.
Flush
Don't do
yourself
that.
down the
he
toilet.
said don't
Don't
do
do
that.
that.
Be there
Don't
to
talk
get
about
us.
Dad that way.
Respect him. Respect him. He's
my
amazing.
father.
He's amazing.
No, I mean, I liked him in certain. I liked him in the first. They're gonna come get you movie.
That was that's a good movie.
I think they just did that
First
Taken movie too much.
Wasn't
Maybe
he?
Taken
Wasn't
too many
he
times.
in what is that? The
You better be
Wolf or
careful.
Gray?
The Gray,
What,
yeah,
the
the
Gray. Amazing. He was amazing in the
Yeah, I
Gray.
thought that was great.
Yeah.
I
The Gray
loved
was
that
really
movie.
good. It was an anti-religious movie for whatever. But I thought
No. It wasn't. It was a check yourself. Figure out if you are religious or not.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Nice.
That's a side
I
conversation.
love that movie. We better go on that. Put that on the list for next episode.
Hey, let's
on the
do it. Let's
list.
do it.
Okay.
Yes. I've broken that movie down. Like I've literally taught a class.
you
based
guys
I
on-
know
go
what
back
you're.
and
I know
watch.
what you're talking about, and at first I thought the same thing, and then I was like, wait a minute, what's that say about me?
Nah, we're gonna have this conversation, and I guarantee you, when we're
Hold
done
that
with this
thought.
conversation, you're gonna agree with me and say,
Wow,
Tyrus,
there
you're
it
right
is.
about this.
I need.
That's it.
I'll watch it again.
Okay,
I'll watch it
okay.
again.
And I'll give
I
you
want
my
to
notes.
too.
I'll give you my notes.
Everybody
You'll
has
say,
to
"Holy
watch.
crap, I didn't
No,
see
no,
it."
I want to watch it again. I don't want you tainting my experience.
Okay. Hey, so the actor I'm talking about, his name is Jason Clarke. So I know him from. Let me pull his IDBM.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Zero Dark 30, I think he was in that. But hold on one second. There's one show that was on Showtime that he was.
Yeah, what Showtime show are you talking about? I don't know.
Hold on one second. Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that show, torrent it. It is awesome. It's a really good show. I mean, no, get a subscription
Yeah.
to Showtime and watch it properly. Don't torrent it. Kick-ass torrent. Don't
Man,
use
just
that.
tell people, go ahead, do some
Torrent,
time,
dude.
pay
This
that
is-
price.
The
Don't
numbers
use
of
that.
viewers just went skyrocketing through the roof.
Oh.
This guy has the answers.
Hey, you know, on a side note, before we move forward, you know who I need to see more of?
Who?
The actor Anton Chigurh. I don't know how you say his last name. The guy from what is that? Friendo, when he flips the coin and he decides if he's going to kill you or not. No Country for Old Men.
Oh, what happened to him?
That movie is. I love that movie. I could walk into any place if they're playing that movie. I have to get focused. Like, let's go. What is happening? I need to be a part of this. I love that movie.
I don't think
You
I've.
guys don't like No Country for Old Men?
I don't think I've watched it all the way.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I
You have not seen that?
I know it was good.
No.
Didn't it win?
I took it as a personal attack.
Oh, here we go. Yo, put
Listen,
that on the list.
Jack, have you seen the movie?
Actually.
Jack, have you seen this movie?
Which one?
No Country for Old Men.
Of course.
Is the movie awesome or is the movie awesome?
That's one of their best works by far.
That movie is amazing. You guys haven't seen it? You have to see
No,
it.
I haven't seen it. Julie, have you seen
I always hear
I've
good
seen
things
it.
about
It's
it.
one of my favorite movies for sure.
it? Julie, I don't even think it's cool. See? There
Yeah, especially the end where he like broke his.
Whoa, Julie, stop! Don't do
Yeah,
that.
She gives it away.
We don't have spoiler alert alarms yet.
especially when you find out Darth Vader's
The
his father.
budget has not allotted for spoiler alert alarms.
See, this is what I'm talking about. We got to keep
I
Julie
don't
on the
think
wraps.
it's a typical girl movie. Like you
Because
probably
she-
can't ask your girlfriend to watch it with you. But I enjoy action movies and
That's because you're not the typical girl.
Julie was like, I don't care. I didn't like it. Here, let me tell you what the ending was.
I'm not. I love it.
She's like, F you all.
Perfect leg towards the end.
Okay.
Now I'm not a
At
no.
the end, the kid is really dead.
Yeah.
Shut up, Carlos. Whoever. Julie was talking.
That's enough. He'll pay.
Okay, look, another movie. Then we're gonna get back to it, but I have to throw this out.
Here we
I
go.
was
You derailed this
blown
whole
away by
thing.
Gone Girl. I had no idea it would be that good. Like
What is it?
Gone
Gone
Girl,
Girl?
I think it is. Gone Girl.
You are like you guys made me go watch this. I didn't really want to go
You
watch this.
have no. You have to watch this. I hate it. I hated Ben Affleck. I was like, this
Damn
dude.
you.
Anything he does, I don't want nothing to do with him. I watched that movie and I just gave him a slow clap. Said he should be Batman.
Okay.
Whatever
Oh
else he
really?
wants to
Oh
do.
now he's okay to be Batman?
It's that good that after you watch it, you say, yes, he is Batman.
Come
Okay,
on.
that's out there.
Well, I
Carlos,
don't know
am I
if
wrong?
that's right.
Carlos, am I wrong?
The movie was tight with a capital T-I.
But you gonna give him a pass now to be Batman?
Yes.
To be Batman,
absolutely.
I don't know about that.
I'm giving
I
him
mean,
a pass. I
Wait,
said it
let me
first.
say it like this. Let me
Yeah.
say it like this. I wanted him when they announced him to be Batman. It took me about 5 seconds to buy into it. I'm good. I wanted him to be Batman probably because I want to see a bunch of people be pissed off that he's going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
However,
Hmm.
because that's what they were saying about Michael Keaton being Batman, and Michael Keaton was one of the greatest Batmen.
That's true.
There was a huge uproar when they cast Joker as God, what's his name?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. I remember when that news came out, the internet just
Okay.
lost it. They're like, "This is the worst decision ever," and now he's of course a legend.
And,
Yeah.
He was
Hayden Walker.
amazing as a Joker.
Yeah.
He's the best Joker, hands down.
Ever.
Nobody
better than-
can even compare
Better
him
than
to
Jack.
him.
Better than
Oh,
Jack.
it wasn't even
Dude,
close. It's
not
not
even
even
close.
close.
I have to ask it.
Heath
Don't
Ledger was so
crucify
good
me.
at Joker that they needed to go back in time to the beginning of Batman and
Right,
rewrite all that
that's
shit.
right. Yeah.
No, I'm okay with that. I'm just, you know, you had to throw that
When he
in.
made that pencil disappear, boy, I was like,
Oh, yeah,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
I'm in.
That was
I'm
racist.
completely in. That was
Tyrus, you said that's racist.
Racist. How you
Oh,
made
my
that
God.
disappear? I had
Yeah,
a
you
problem
did.
with that.
That's what happens.
Joker on Black Crime.
People get mouthy, they get a pen to the eye.
What are you trying to say,
Pencil to the
Carlos?
eye.
Carlos,
don't be
stop
mouthy.
ruining the movie for people who haven't seen it.
Don't be mouthy.
Yeah,
The
oh,
pencil didn't have shit to do with shit. Get out of here.
I
Moving on.
Hey, wait,
Best
wait.
visual effects movie.
Hey,
Yeah, you
wait,
can-
Julie's talking,
Cut
Carlos.
Julie off, man.
Oh, sorry, damn.
You get all in your feelings over there.
Sure. Hey, Tires. Speaking of Javier Bardem, have you seen The Counselor, or have any of you guys seen that movie?
The
What
counselor.
the council? What's it about? What's it about?
Oh my God,
Counselor.
it's kind of like this big drug ring. I've watched it 3 times now, but it has him in it with Cameron Diaz and
I haven't seen
Brad
that yet.
Pitt. It is a really good movie, actually.
Is it an older
You
movie?
know, like really
No, it's
good
new.
plot line, everything.
I'm gonna watch it tonight. That's on my list.
Because Tyrus will be up for the next 25 hours.
That's true.
You
That's a
know what
true
he's
He's
gonna
going to
story.
watch tonight. To his
Even
credit.
though he has 10 kids, he'll be
He's
up.
gonna. Yeah, how about it? He does.
Look at you.
No wonder you
I'm
don't.
just saying.
No wonder you
Look
don't
at-
submit any artwork. Good.
Look at you, infertile bastards! All of you jealous.
Wait a minute.
No, I control my lovings.
Have you seen my daughter? She's amazing.
Yeah, because it's in your hands. Of course you control it.
And I love myself too.
Okay, so Julie, what are you talking about? Oh,
Because you know he would go there.
All right, so I want to go back to best visual effects. I've
Okay.
seen all these movies, and out of this list, Interstellar was my favorite.
Hands down, it has to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
you think so?
Guardians of the Galaxy was a
Yes.
solid number 2.
Special effects, yes.
Solid number 2. Have
I'm
you seen
biased.
Interstellar?
I've got.
Yes, I have. Interstellar is a great movie, but the amount of
But not
special
visual
effects.
effects-wise.
As far
Visual
as
effects wise,
yeah, I
Guardians
guess
of the
yeah, you're
Galaxy.
right. Guardians of the Galaxy. I had all
Did you
those
see
characters
the
and
flying
stuff.
scenes at the end with the Nova Corps? Amazing.
You're putting the
Stop
special
ruining
effects
stuff.
over Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean,
Special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm real biased because I've got work in there. I don't, X-Men's definitely not going to win, but
Because Jack said, I need.
Jack's
I'm
name is
biased.
on the credits, Joe.
I know
Boom.
it's not gonna win. But I got a friend who hopefully will end up on that stage. But realistically, it's gonna be either Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or Interstellar. Not because Interstellar's visual effects was that good. I mean, it was good, but comparatively. but just because of the critical acclaim that it won, and I don't think it's strong enough to win, best screenwriter or anything like that.
They're
So
gonna do it based
give
off
it
how
the
good the
softball.
movie was. Oh, that sucks. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna win the big time awards. They're gonna give it a couple of softballs.
No.
Which leads me to a question. Do you think, and this might be weird, do you think these competitions are fixed?
Oh, totally.
Yes. Obviously.
Well,
For a good example is we were just talking about special effects. Out of in that lineup, my favorite movie out of those 5 was Interstellar. But then when Charlie said best special effects, I was like, oh, that's right, that's the category, duh.
Yeah. But my favorite movie out of that one was Guardians. But I do appreciate Interstellar as like a harken to just a great movie. Dawn of the Apes was a great movie. It had very good artistic direction, and some of the cues that Tyrus was talking about earlier are great. But in terms of special effects, there were so many things going on in Guardians. Every scene. You just can't
Yeah, but
argue
here's the problem with that. It's the whole entire concept is foreign and out of space, and so there is no reality to base it on. If you take a movie like Interstellar or Planet of the Apes, you have to base a lot of that on reality and say, does it fit and does it work, right? So if you take a guy and say, okay, we're going to make this big blue man. A big blue man doesn't exist. So you can get away with a lot of stuff in that case. But if you say Planet of the Apes,
What are you talking about?
let me finish. If you say Planet of the Apes 2, where you're talking about what people actually know what an ape looks like, that's a whole different ball game.
But
That's a whole
everything
different ball
fits
game.
into the context of a Marvel.
Right, but it's
movie.
not real.
You can't
So, Charlie,
discredit.
you're talking about
Just
reality.
special effects. That's the point.
No, you're talking about reality versus a comic book. Two totally different things.
You're gonna base everything just off of the ape, right? Just off of the.
Is that what I'm basing everything off of the ape?
Right. What other special effects was amazing in Planet of the Apes outside of the apes?
The world.
Especially if you
The
make
world was shot like a regular
if you
movie.
make Planet of the Apes, you just do one and then you copy paste and then you're good, right?
Like seriously, are we talking about
That's
the
ridiculous.
movie making, the matte painting, and all that good stuff? That's in there. Yeah.
So look, I'm gonna give you one scene. Okay. Oh, Julie's got to go. We love Julie. Julie, you can come back anytime. You were awesome. Thank you for
Julie.
being
Thanks
She's
for
just
joining
tired
us,
of us
Julie.
going on about movies.
Give
It's like, I'm done. I'm
her
done.
the hand clap.
Be up at 7, which is not really my cup of tea, but I gotta be up at 7.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Love
Julie.
Thank you.
Thank
Where's
you.
the clapping? Oh, come on, Carlos. He locked us out.
Sorry.
Crickets.
Can't send her off the right way.
God, I forget.
Find the gong.
Bong.
Julie Farrell, man.
Julie Farrell, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, guys, it was nice hanging out with you. I'll see
What's
you
your
later.
what's your URL again?
www.oddlotweddings.com.
ODDLOTWEDDINGS.com.
What's your Twitter handle?
Odd Lot Weddings.
Duh, Tyrus.
And your Instagram?
What do you think it is?
I'm gonna take a guess and say Odd Lot Weddings.
Yep.
There we go. All right.
And do you have a Facebook page?
I sure do. Guess what that is?
Jack, what is it, Jack?
Facebook.com/Julie Farrell.
Well, that's my personal one.
Thanks for putting that out there. Man,
Don't be the
we
guest.
so apologize for Carlos.
No.
She's gonna have like 20 friend requests in the morning from perverts, like fat guys.
I
Yeah.
know
Carlos.
I had a stalker recently, so that's why no one could call me.
Oh, I forgot about
Crazy
craziness.
stalker. Crazy.
Oh, I gotta IM you. I gotta hear about this, Julie. We'll talk.
You got an IM retires. It's crazy.
It was insane. So, but
Things just got spicy.
We're going to make a movie.
Julie Farrell, ladies and gentlemen.
bye, guys.
See ya.
All right, I'm out.
All right. Now let me get back to you, Charlie. So listen.
Dude, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hold on.
Best
There's a
visual
part.
effects, you
There's a
numbnuts.
part in Planet of the Apes where the apes are out hunting, and the one ape gets trapped by a bear,
Yes.
and he screams, and the other apes, Kumo comes, and I think it's Kuma, right? Comes and off the top ropes him. Dude, that movie, and you're like, what
Yes.
else did they do? That
Yes.
scene alone was nuts.
Yes. That was
And-
amazing.
And
written
everything
scene.
about it looked real, and it felt real. It felt like it actually happened.
Yeah, you
So
know
just
the
scenes
emotional
like that.
monkeys. Gosh.
Well, I care about you, so it's nothing different. I mean,
You knew you were gonna say,
God damn.
oh, you bastard.
you're my son.
I understand it was a great movie, but I feel that the amount of different types of visual effects that was put together in that Guardians was not supposed to be a hit for the Marvel one. They were like,
What? What are you talking about?
That's a
Because-
lot
okay.
of truth. Yeah.
let me put it this way, because you must not be a comic book nerd. I'm gonna have to
Really?
cool your
Now,
tongue.
now I'm not a comic book
Guardians of the Galaxy, in terms of a mainstream, is not a mainstream comic.
Of
So it
course
was
it's
not
not.
supposed to be a
I
hit.
never argued it was a mainstream comic, but the moment that they said they were going to release the movie, the internet went crazy. And
Crazy in
everybody
a
was,
bad
hold on,
way,
let me finish. Wait.
Tyrus.
Everybody with anticipation was like, okay, I want to go see this Gardens. And so they would release the artwork. People were posting,
live in
talking about it.
different world.
When they started releasing the concepts for the raccoon, people were going crazy and talking about it. And then when the movie came out, the first weekend, they broke. So if it wasn't supposed to be a hit, then how did they
It
break
wasn't
the record
supposed
for
to be.
the first weekend?
Exactly. That's the whole point. Tyrus.
What's the whole
Hey,
point,
good
Charlie?
marketing.
That's the whole point. They marketed really well, and
Yeah.
that first Red Band trailer was really, really good. So that
Mhm.
changed. Cause no one knew what Guardians. I'm talking about mainstream, not us nerds. I'm talking
Well,
about
once
mainstream.
again, I'm
Didn't know
not
what it
arguing.
was.
I know no one knew about the comic book. I completely get that.
So
But
everyone
I'm
was
saying
naysaying it.
because of the hits that Marvel had continuously put out,
Yeah, they
when
were
they
gonna
said,
get
"Hey, we're
attacked.
doing
People were
Guardians
like,
of the
I don't
Galaxy,"
know.
people who my daughter, who's like, she didn't know. Of course, she wanted to see it. All of our friends wanted to see it because Marvel's just making hits. So there was definitely a group of people, the world, essentially waiting to say, "Okay, let's go check this out."
Yeah. The hardcore, yeah.
You know,
I
not
think-
just hardcore people
I think
who like
Guardians
Marvel
of
movies.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy was kind of like their heat check. You know, when you're playing basketball and you got that one guy that's just hitting shots from everywhere and he's pissing everyone off.
Yeah.
And on his team, even though you want to take the shot too, you give it to him because this kid is on fire.
Yeah.
I think this is Marvel's heat check. They're like, let's just put a little money towards this, see what happens.
Because they're trying to
And
do it again
blew
with Ant-Man. And I just hope it's the same. You know? I just hope they get the same. And I don't know if it's going to hit the same way the Guardians. Because Ant-Man's another one of those obscure,
Yeah,
you know.
I just saw a preview for Ant-Man. At first, I was like, what? And then at the end of the preview, I was like, what?
I don't know. Maybe Jack, maybe you know, but do you know anything about the Ant-Man stuff? Because like they kept rewriting this one, and it was supposed to like feed into the other ones, and I feel like now since it's been rewritten
Yeah, I
so
actually
much,
don't know too much of the history of that project, but I know it had some major trouble in rewrites and
because it was supposed to like feed into the the whole Age of
Yeah.
Ultron, the whole thing, and I don't know if it's gonna do that now. But they're like, we still need to make this. We can't look like we're gonna just like scrap it, so we'll make it. And I don't know what's the main guy that's supposed to be in it?
All
Like,
right.
yeah.
I mean,
All right,
I
the
don't
yeah.
whole
know.
thing is like he can like shrink down to the size of an ant, right? And he
Yeah,
goes
I
and
mean-
fights like mini enemies. It's kind of like in a weird way like comical, but
But it's Paul
I
Rudd
don't know.
too. It's like
yeah, I mean it's definitely going to be on the little more quirky side. I don't know. It's like
yeah.
it could work. You know, like Thor was bizarrely funny. And
Oh,
that kind
I
of
thought
worked.
Thor was terrible. The second one.
No, the second one not so good. The first
You
one
had Thor in the
strangely
kitchen
kind of worked.
cooking eggs for a woman. That is the craziest thing I ever. Thor is in the kitchen cooking eggs for a
okay.
woman.
I
That
love
is
you, Tyrus.
that is the most
How you gonna
ridiculous thing.
how you gonna assume she's in the kitchen cooking?
I mean, I'm saying, how is Thor, the god, going to be in the kitchen frying eggs for a woman?
Because he's a loving God.
Get out! Thor's never.
Thor is never loving.
You're getting me fired up. Here is Thor, like all of a sudden they're trying to make him like a sex symbol. Thor has been like this dude who's like full of power, full of might, capable of beating the Hulk, not beating him, but at least coming to a tie with the Hulk. You know, he's God. And now all of a sudden they're like trying to make him sexy. Like, would you stop it? You're gaying up Thor. Like, let Thor be Thor.
Yes.
When he was cooking eggs, I almost got up and walked out of the movie theater. I can't remember the last time I got so upset at a movie
It's
because
Natalie
it's
Portman.
out of line. It's out of line. I don't care who it is. If it was all of the Kardashians, he wouldn't be cooking eggs for them. You know what? They'd all be in the kitchen cooking eggs for Thor.
Or the hammer is going to be.
That's he putting the hammer down. He put,
There it is.
but you know what?
Speaking of which,
Kim Kardashian's
looking
movie
up-
might be able to resist the hammer. Oh, he might get a little backlash on that one. Like, wait a minute.
He might have to take 2 swings.
He's gonna have to spin it up, and it's still gonna bounce back. It's like, I haven't hit anything this hard since the Hulk. That's what Thor would say.
But that's just it. It's not hard. I bet you touch that thing, you go.
But it's thick like a horse. It's
Like,
it's like a mentor walking around, a centaur or something, just walking around like.
I doubt that.
call her butter
doubt
mentor.
Yeah.
If I was Kanye, I would get back rides. Like, hey Kim, I want to go upstairs and just sit on her and just go.
Just like that.
Like a
Just
donkey.
like that.
And I would hold her ponytail too. What?
Oh, my
What's
God.
that baby's name? What's the baby's name?
North.
North.
North. North,
Northwest.
come here and put North on your lap in
Northwest.
front and go. We're getting a ride from Mama.
What do you look like? You're like in the
He should hold the baby like this, like
in
with
the
his
African
arms-
outback over there.
Hey, on a related note,
Hey, Tyrus, I'm gonna let you finish, but we need to.
Oh. Oh, we so derailed.
on a related note, Kanye had to tell what's her face?
Amber Rose.
No, his lady.
That's
Kim.
the other one. It's the
He had
other
to tell Kim that she needed to spend more time at home and watch the kids.
He did.
Really?
He told her that.
Was that
you know
true?
how messed up you have? Yeah, you know how messed up you have to be to have Kanye tell you take your ass home.
Those are facts. That's a true story. That's funny.
Really? Did that come out today? Really?
No, not today. That happened. I don't know when. But
How does one find that out? Like, yo,
you know,
you and your circles. I'm scared.
I got
That's what you
interesting
get from
circles.
marrying a thought. Yeah, just what happens.
Not.
Who thought she was gonna really be a good mother? Like, she's amazing.
right.
She's amazing with the kids.
You know who thought Amber Rose was gonna be a good mother?
Now, you guys know that Kim Kardashian has her own iPhone game.
Yes, and it made her millions last year.
How dumb.
I know.
That's all
it's
I'm gonna say.
It's a Barbie game. It's like a dress.
What? Yeah. What do you do?
You
like-
you buy clothing for your little Kim.
You buy plastic
Not
body
little-
parts and
not
attach.
little Kim.
Little Kim.
You buy implants and shit.
Little Kim. You shop around
It's
for
a-
the best doctor.
You have to pay full price. You have to pay full price to get a virtual boob job.
You go through 3 horrible relationships before finding your one true millionaire.
Have you guys seen Chappie yet?
I want to. Is it out yet?
I don't think it was out.
Not out yet, actually.
No.
No, it's not out yet. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
good, because I've been wanting to see it, and I hadn't seen it yet. Now, you guys have seen District 9, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Elysium.
That was pretty tight. So apparently, the director from both of those movies is going to be directing Aliens.
Yes,
A
Neil
new version of
Blomkamp.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he released concept art on the internet like a couple months ago, and the internet
wow,
went
yeah.
crazy. You know, in terms of like it just looks like some cool like stuff you'd have in your inspiration, folder.
Yeah.
And he ended up saying that like he wasn't ready to make it, or he wouldn't be able. It's a shame that he wasn't going to be able to make it yet, and everybody's like, "Oh," but the concept art looks cool, And then like he came out, recently and said that it's actually going to be his next project. So
Nice.
as long as everything goes through, that's
I'm
like,
looking forward to Chappie. So if he could do something like Aliens and just
Mhm.
kill it.
We'll put the link in the description for this week, and then it'll take you to the article. You can see some of the really cool concept art for those of you guys who are tuning in on the computer and stuff. Yeah, check it out.
Crickets.
I think that's pretty much. Here you go. Here you go.
It's like this week on 60 Minutes.
What's that guy, Andy?
What's his name?
Oh shit, Andy. You got to get on that.
So recap real quick. What was the 2 movies? Because we'll forget. We need to write this down on the spreadsheet for next
you know
week.
What? The counselor and
Gray.
the Gray.
The Gray. Okay, so like, what is our schedule like for coming up? Because I think we should have like that'd be a good show with the 4 of us. Maybe just one of the 4 guest 4 show. You know, just us talking.
Well, next week we have our new
the
next winner.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Sounds like we made
it
it big
perfect
time.
time.
You know,
Perfect time to announce our winner.
what's my schedule look like in a couple weeks? We should
The
talk.
winner for our next winner for the Sketch Zone
Drum roll.
competition.
Oh, I'll get the drum roll.
Drum roll, because Carlos locked us out this week, and no one can do it but him.
And the winner is.
They must have changed something because I don't usually have to do this.
No, it's just you operating it.
Okay.
Wow.
Operator error.
We'll get Jack on that next week.
And the winner is
Wait for it.
Steven Pekarsky with Lookout. It's a really cool. He did a really cool pencil sketch of a lighthouse.
Looks
It's
like
pretty tight.
marker rendering from the
Marker rendering?
Remember when people used to do that?
Dude, I used to be like
tons of those.
obsessed with that. Yeah. Used to be obsessed. I wanted the Copic markers really bad, like a whole set. I admire people who do that.
Copic is making a lot of noise lately.
Really?
Yeah, they have an online presence that's just
Dude.
remarkable. They've been killing it.
Yeah. You know what other we didn't mention this earlier, but what other program was killing it was that I still think does a really good job of what it does is Painter, and it's still around. It hasn't got bought out or anything, and it's still
That's
there.
still around?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only is it still around, they have Mike Thompson. He's one of their evangelists. Dude, if you haven't seen his work, he is a beast. He did the cover. He's doing the cover art for the promotion they have right now. So if you see a Painter ad now, because we talked about it, you will. If you see a Painter ad on your Facebook
It's gonna show
timeline,
up on your Facebook. Yeah.
that's his work. Dude is. If you want to look at somebody who can kick butt in Painter, check out Mike Thompson.
Yeah, you turned me on to Mike Thompson. He's like really good.
He just got hooked up. He's full time with Marvel now, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, he did some of the concept work for Thor and Guardian of the Galaxy. He did the raccoon work for Guardian of the Galaxy, as a matter of fact.
Okay, so he's a concept guy. Okay, cool.
He's a matte painter. He does final paintings. He does promotion paintings. Dude, he's amazing. But check him out if you get a chance.
He's all in Painter, huh? And that's still Corel, right?
Yeah.
So they haven't gone anywhere. Like, how have they held off, Adobe so long? Like, I think Painter was from when I used to really be big in, well, I still am big into like the a lot of the different Asian artists and stuff like that, like where they like just they love Painter, and like there's some amazing like time lapses of like them mixing paint live on the canvas in Painter, and like just treating it like it's a regular real life medium. It's really cool. Has anybody used it lately or tried it?
I got the latest version. I just haven't embedded myself in it yet.
It's always, for me, it was always, I think, just too many things you can do. If you want to do one thing, but then you can select from like 50,000 pieces of paper. And then you can get so many thousands of brushes, and then the paint, and then if you have like an oil paint, and then you accidentally get watercolor, and then you get the pencil. It was almost, I don't know. Maybe I need to spend more time in it. Maybe, I don't know. It was just a little too. And then again, if you're dealing with Photoshop, I've been dealing with Photoshop for so long that it gets to the point where I can totally do this in Photoshop in 5 minutes or less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has its qualities that can't be
I always like
exactly
the mixing.
duplicated it can't be duplicated in Photoshop. Like you could replicate it, but what Painter can do is certainly unique to itself. Like the whole thing about Painter is it gives you a painterly quality, and it's not. It feels it if it's not digital. Photoshop, you can do that. It's a lot harder to do it in Photoshop.
Yeah.
I think that's the main difference.
I always like the mixing.
Yeah, I'm
like
very impressed with the work that people come out with.
Yeah.
It does have a look that just doesn't. You really have to work for in Photoshop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With that said, we're getting up close to an hour and a half. So, hey Charlie, where can people find you?
You can find me at www.cargocollective.com/CharlieWilliams and my Twitter handle, which is CBW3.
And Jack, where can people find you?
Sketchbook Jack on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and .com.
And Terrace?
You can find me at Tigo Sketch on Instagram, Tigo Sketch on Facebook, and TigoSketch.com is my website.
And you can find me at pretty much Coconut Justice everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Charlie's Mama's house.
You can't find them there. You don't make enough.
And you can also go out and follow Sketch Zone at Sketch Zone, and go to sketch.zone and submit your artwork. And if your artwork wins, like Stephen Pekarski's did, Stephen, we're coming to get you, bud.
Yeah.
You too can join this. What would you melee? This melee
with
this
Tyrus.
Onslaught of words.
Throw you in a cage with Tyrus. See if you're a real man.
Sleeping right now.
2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Pause.
Tyrus leaves.
Pause.
Thanks for coming out, guys. We'll
Hey, yo,
see
we're on iTunes, right? We're on iTunes now, right?
Oh,
We
yeah,
are.
that's true. Go to iTunes. Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, that's what
You
I'm
can
here
find us on iTunes. Subscribe. And while you're on iTunes, please be nice and rank us real high.
for. Yeah.
And
My buddy
leave
found him on his
wonderful comments.
podcasting, too. It was awesome. Yeah.
So, yeah, you can find us on iTunes, too. Sketch.zone for
If you
all
use
your
any kind of
Sketch Zone
podcast software,
needs.
you can find it there too also. So check your podcasting apps. We're there.
Okay, can we be done now?
Yeah. Yeah, I helped you out there. Say thank
Have a good night, everybody.
See you guys.